So KG, how's Bermuda?
I love it. I don't think I'm gonna come out of the water ever again. I may just float here like permanently.
It's all good.
I may be a permanent flotation device.
Yeah, it's all good.
What's up everybody, this is KG. Today I'm going to be telling you about my trip to Bermuda. So I went on this trip with 3 friends of mine, Alex, Imran, and Rachel. The 4 of us, we all rented a villa together and we stayed in Bermuda for 1 week. Our villa was located at Spanish Point, which is just north of the capital city, Hamilton, in Bermuda. Our villa was really nice. It had 2 bedrooms, 1 washroom, living room, dining room, and kitchen. So the first day we arrived, it was actually raining in Bermuda, so we just took it easy and went into Hamilton and we ate at a place called The Pickled Onion. I also got introduced to a friend of Alex who is from Bermuda. His name is Tori, and because Tori is from Bermuda, he was able to give us a more intimate experience during our time in Bermuda. So on the second day, we ventured into our own area, which was the Spanish Point area. There is a park called Admiral House Park. So because this happened to be a holiday weekend, there were many people set up at this park with tents, and they were barbecuing and playing music, and it was like a big holiday type festival, which made it more exciting to be in this park during this time. So once we started exploring this area, we discovered they had many little lookout points. There were cliffs, there were caves, and there was this nice little small beach and a little nook, little private nook that opened up into the ocean area. And that beach had a very homey feel to it. And because we were there for the first time, we were snapping pictures and we were pretty impressed with all the views and the scenery in that area. And of course, this is only one small portion of the island, but it was extremely beautiful. So after exploring Spanish Point, we were feeling hungry, so we went into Hamilton for lunch. We went to a place called the Bermuda Bistro, which is also known as the beach. Over here, I tried something called rockfish, which I had never had before. I really enjoyed the rockfish. It was nice white meat, it was a thick piece, and it was prepared very well. The interesting thing about this meal is that it came with a salad that contained watermelon and walnut in it, which is a strange combination, but when you eat it, it was really delicious. Another trend that we had throughout our week in Bermuda is that we would always order fish chowder as an appetizer. Rachel also ordered her first ever rum swizzle. A rum swizzle is basically a rum punch, but it was really delicious and has a good kick to it. It doesn't taste like you're drinking alcoholic beverage, it just tastes like a fruit punch, and it's really tasty. So once we finished lunch, we went back home, rested a bit, and went back out into the Spanish Point area and swam around for about an hour or so, enjoying our little neighborhood. So after that, in the evening, we went for another round of food in Hamilton. We went to a place called Portofino. I went for another round of fish chowder and rockfish. This time it was an Italian restaurant, so it had more of an Italian feel and flavor to it. It also came with a side of spaghetti. Alex also provided us with some special sunglasses that you can see on my friend over here. And those sunglasses were used for photo ops for his new website, enterbermuda.com. So at night, we got to go to a festival called Soca versus Reggae. That was a fun time for all of us. Tori went with us and we danced the night away. There was also a live performance from Elephant Man, who I used to listen to many years ago, and now I got to see him live for the first time. For those of you who are interested, the winner of the festival was Reggae. So the next day we went back into Hamilton and did some shopping, bought some gear for the following day, which was going to be the non-mariners race / party. And pretty much we took it easy that day. We did some sightseeing in Hamilton, we went in and around that area, took pictures, and basically hung out and had a relaxing day. So the next day was the big non-mariners race. Now what happens in this festival is they have a big race, and then after that it's basically a big boat party in a harbor. So boats dock up from all over the place in the middle of this harbor, and everyone just basically goes nuts and parties. And you can have anything from big $1 million yachts, you can have small boats, you can have medium-sized boats, you can have party boats. There's all sorts of boats docked up. And once you dock up in whatever boat you come in, you can basically dive in the water, swim around, go to other boats, meet other people, and it's just like a big party on the water. It's pretty incredible to experience. So for us, Tori has some local friends, Lou and Amy, who became our friends too, but they own a boat, and they took us out on a private boat with a group of us to go to non-mariners.
Oh, don't stop. Okay. Hold on, let me clean my glasses. I gotta get better. they say I have to start taking photos. So
Don't worry. I've been married for 12 years. He changed.
He's honest. I'm sorry. I'm honest. That's right.
Many elephants, and you take him to the grocery store, and he starts hollering at big booty girls. Oh my dear girl. That's what he said to one girl.
So the group contained all of us from Canada, Tori, Amy, Lou, and another friend of Tori's named Amanda. So we got picked up at Rockaway Ferry Dock and we slowly made our way over to the harbor where Non-Mariners was taking place. So once we arrived, we picked our own little area where we docked up and we jumped in the water and swam around to different boats, and there were a whole bunch of party boats and things like that as well. And we basically had a really fun day on the water. We were out there for maybe 5-6 hours non-stop in the water. It's definitely a unique experience. The area covered for this event is so huge, we didn't even get a chance to watch this race. We were too busy just having fun and partying. We were even lucky enough to make it into their local newspaper, the Royal Gazette. So after Non-Mariners, we all went for dinner together at Dockyard. And after that, Lou and Amy took us back out on the water and we sailed around Bermuda at nighttime, and what a beautiful scene that was as well. So the following day we did something pretty crazy, at least for me. We went out to Spanish Point again and we did some cliff jumping. Now I'm not the best swimmer in the world, but I was really intrigued by the opportunity to do something I've never done before, and I actually tried jumping off the cliff. If I don't make it, I love all you guys, love my parents, love God. See you guys on the other side. All right. So, holy shit.
Not so easy.
Deep breath, deep breath.
Shit. How was it? KG!
Water in the nose.
So the funny thing about this experience is that jumping off the cliff was probably the easier part for me. The swimming was the hard part for me because I'm not much of a swimmer. Mind you, I didn't jump off a high cliff, but that was enough for me for my first experience. So along with cliff jumping, we also explored some of the caves in the area, and we finished it off by going to that little private beach and swimming in there as well, having a look at some of the fishes swimming around in that area too.
Here's a big one.
So later on that day, after we were done at Spanish Point, we went to Tori's house to hang out for a bit, and Alex, Tori, and Rachel were working on the website enterbermuda.com, and me and Imran were pretty much just hanging out there. At that time, we also discussed renting scooters for a day and going around and seeing many different places in one day using the scooters. Now once again, this is something I've never done, riding scooters. I was a bit nervous about it, but at the end everybody else was all ramped up about doing it, so I just was like, okay, if you guys want to do it, let's do it. So that was the plan for the next day. Meanwhile, that night we went to an Irish pub called Flanagan's Outback Sports Bar, which is also located along Front Street in Hamilton. If you haven't guessed it already, I once again went for rockfish. This time it came with a special topping, had bananas, almonds, and a special sauce on top. It was great. So the very next morning we went and rented our scooters. Rachel and Alex got a double scooter, I got my own scooter, and Imran got his own scooter. So our plan was to hit a bunch of locations like Pompano Bay Beach Resort. We wanted to go to Horseshoe Bay Beach. We wanted to go to Crystal Caves. There were a number of places we were trying to hit in that particular day. So our first stop was Pompano Bay Beach Resort, which is located in Southampton. We stopped over there and met Tori, and we had lunch at the resort. I must say that is a very beautiful resort. It has a very beautiful beach. It has a very beautiful view. The water looks amazing. And if I were to go back in the future, I would definitely consider staying at that particular resort just by the way it looks. Now, of course, Bermuda is known for all its pink sand beaches, and the Pompano Bay Beach Resort has one of those pink sand beaches there. So the day started out great and we were headed to our next spot. Unfortunately, we never made it to our second destination. On the way there, on a roundabout, Alex and Rachel went through the roundabout, I went through the roundabout, and then we heard a thud. And unfortunately, Imran lost control of his bike on the roundabout and crashed his bike. So as soon as I heard the thud, I knew he had gone down. So I started honking my horn ahead to Alex to let him know to slow down and stop. And I meanwhile stopped and pulled over, and then I ran back around the corner to see what the situation was. So Imran had fractured his wrist and it was kind of dangling there. But luckily, before we had too much time to think about what to do, a van pulled up right next to us and told Imran to hop in. By this time, Rachel had come around the corner. I told her go with Imran to the hospital, and the guy said the hospital is just around the corner, so he just took Imran and Rachel and took them straight to the hospital and told us to catch up behind in our scooters. Needless to say, the people in Bermuda are super friendly, not just for this occurrence, but throughout the week I was finding that everybody was really friendly, helpful, and kind on this island. And this experience confirmed that fact for me. So of course nobody wants something like this to happen on their trip. With that being said, it was still a positive experience in the sense that the people were really kind and nice. Also, when we got to the hospital, the way that we were treated was very professionally. The hospital workers were great. They had Imran fixed and out of there in a cast within a couple of hours, and everything went fairly smooth for an incident of that nature. The other thing that helped was that Imran was pretty calm before, during, and after this experience. He was pretty much even keel throughout. So either way, once we were out of the emergency, Imran posed for some extra pictures and we went home to relax for the evening. We now had one more day left on the island. So the doctor's orders for Imran's wrist was basically not to get the cast wet, to keep it elevated, and if he was experiencing any numbness to come back to the hospital. The other good thing about Imran was that on the final day he was game for doing some sightseeing before going back home. He did not want to miss an opportunity to spend one more day and see more things on the island. So one of the things we did on the last day was take ferry boats to different parts of the island. So the first ferry dock we took was from Hamilton to Dockyard, and we spent a little time in Dockyard area. And then we took another ferry boat from Dockyard to St. George's. So once we arrived in St. George's, we went to the Crystal Caves from there. Now the Crystal Caves is a limestone cave and it's been developing for millions of years and is a very cool place to see. Now I took a bunch of photos in there and we had a really nice tour guide who gave us the history lesson on the Crystal Caves. And after the Crystal Caves, we walked from there past an area called the Swizzle Inn, which is a restaurant. We also had ice cream right across the street from the Swizzle Inn. And we continued on to a little lagoon called the Blue Hole and took a few pictures there, watched a few people do some diving in that area. And that was pretty much our final day in Bermuda. Now for our final dinner, we got to meet up with Lou and Amy and have dinner together one last time. So once again, we went for dinner together in Hamilton at a place called La Trattoria, which again is another Italian style restaurant. This time I finally ordered something different. I ordered a jerk shrimp pizza. It ended up being really tasty and I really enjoyed it. And to cap off the trip, we went for one last nighttime boat ride together with Lou and Amy on the water. And it was a wonderful way to cap off our trip in Bermuda. All in all, my experience in Bermuda was great. I had a really good time. The weather was great. It's a beautiful place. And I definitely plan to go back and see more of that island in the future. Now, Bermuda is not a very big island. It's a small island, but there's still lots of beaches and places to see that I haven't been to yet. I would definitely recommend this place as a holiday spot to get away. Another cool fact about this island is that it gets its tap water from rainwater. The tap water is drinkable, and the whole week I was drinking the tap water and I was fine, which is great because I've been to a lot of Caribbean islands where you can't do that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little bit about Bermuda and it gives you an idea about what the island is all about. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave any comments you want below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and we'll see you guys again next time. Take care. Peace out.